That's how he does it. See that? Look. Smile. Look. Smile.
Are we there yet, Jack?
Close enough.
Not yet?
Hey everybody, Tom with the Museum of the Great Wars coming to you from Falcon Field, Mesa, Arizona with Jay from Mother Road Media. We appreciate him putting up with us on this 4-hour journey down here today. And behind us is a Lockheed PV-2 Harpoon. This is actually the second oldest known Harpoon anywhere on the planet. And it is soon going to be known as the City of Kingman and coming up to our home. And I'm here today with Robert Kropp. And Rob, if you're in the Warbird world and you're watching this, you'll be like, hey, I know Rob, because everybody knows Rob. It's like a secret handshake. You show up and you're like, I have an airplane. And they're like, go away. I know Rob. Oh, come on in. So, and our introduction, we met each other about 3 years ago. A lot of you guys know my wife had cancer. I was coming down here, had to leave her over off of Rose Garden Lane at Cancer Center there. And Dr. Wingo, we still love you. Thank you for saving my wife's life. Amazing woman. If any of you women folks ever need that kind of a gynecologist slash oncologist, she's your gal. And I had to find something to do, so I came over here to Falcon Field to buy a Magneto from Rob, and that turned into a Beech 18, which now turned into a Harpoon. So these things happen. I don't know, cats, potato chips, airplanes. So, but Rob, let's talk a little bit about you. How did you end up? How'd you end up deciding, you know, hey, I'm going to end up with like a bunch of Harpoons?
Well, it happened kind of by accident, but this survivor's tale of this particular PV, this was the last airplane owned by an aerial application firm here on Mesa's Falcon Field, known as Air Response.
Okay.
And Air Response wrapped up. They sold off their engine shop and their tooling and their inventory in 2012 and closed down completely, and this particular PV had gone up for auction. And this was kind of a spare ship that Globe Air and Air Response had used these PVs. They at one time had about 18 or 19 of them working on the field in the 1960s, 70s, and early 80s.
And they were doing what with them?
Well, this was an aerial application airplane that did two roles. It was originally tanked up to kill bugs.
Okay.
It was worked pretty exclusively on a fire ant program. They did a lot of grasshopper eradication with this particular airplane, and at some point in time they realized they could use these as a fairly effective platform to fight forest fires with.
Okay.
So it kind of had a dual role.
Okay, excellent. And so they shut down operations in 2012, and this is the last sole survivor here on the field.
Right.
And it comes up for auction.
And
You're the sole bidder?
There was one other bidder,
Okay.
the late Mark Thompson, that has the firm over in California that uses airplanes and helicopters and aviation-related material for movie props.
Okay.
And it was a back and forth situation with Mark and myself. He wanted to carve off the wings and cut it up and use it as a
Prop.
a prop.
Prop. Okay.
And I stupidly probably had too much alcohol in me at that point in time, and
Okay.
I thought, no, we've got to preserve this airplane intact. And all kidding aside, that's what we did. It was worth saving. It was,
Absolutely.
It was disassembled. It had been used as a spare ship, so it was missing a lot of bits and pieces.
Sure,
and,
it'd been cannibalized to keep
it had,
others flying.
yeah, to keep
Okay.
the others flying in the fleet, and we just used some of our spare parts and inventory with our others and kind of built it back up, and now it's time for you to continue the tale of the PV.
And that's what we're looking forward to doing. So for those of you who don't know, Rob also has several other Harpoons here on Falcon Field. And so I understand that the weather is sort of changing down here at Falcon Field, that they're not wanting to embrace history quite as much, and that they're kind of going after some of the airplanes that, even though you're paying tie-down fees and stuff like that, they're wanting them gone off the airport.
That's correct. It's changing climate is probably the most diplomatic way to describe it.
Sure.
At the airport, although it says it values its history, some of these big, what we will call monument airplanes that haven't flown in a number of years,
Okay.
even though they're not taking up real estate that could be used for general aviation as far as tie-down space or hangar
Sure.
space or whatever, the whole mood is one of move it off the airport, and the times they are changing.
Okay.
So there you have it.
And for people who aren't really in the circle of aviation, we saw this happen. This has happened to a lot of other airports. We saw this happen a few years ago to the Kavanaugh Flight Museum outside of Dallas. And unlike Rob, the Kavanaugh Flight Museum actually has money. And so unlike us, they actually have money.
Good point.
And I mean, these guys have millions of dollars worth of aircraft, and they lost their lease on their facility and had to relocate and had to, unfortunately, dispose of a lot of their aircraft that were just static display things and downsized. So it's kind of sad as we see airports get more concerned about fuel flowage and how do we sell more jet fuel versus preserving history, and especially when those two things can coexist without really bothering each other. So
They should.
they should, absolutely they should. So, but anyways, as we can see, Rob and the gang have already started working on this airplane, and if we pan over, we're going to pan over here real quick. We're not going to actually move. We're just going to get a shot. But over in the background, you can see a blue-nosed Harpoon, which is one of Rob's other orphan children. And so you can see with the propellers on it and everything else. And these were both sister ships for the same company, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I thought that was a pretty safe assumption, but you never know.
No, it was spot on.
But anyways, and so we'll pan back over here, and now we can see where they've started to take stuff apart. Actually, as the camera comes over in the background here, you can see on the ramp we've got a set of prop blades. There's probably another one somewhere around here somewhere. We had some students come over yesterday from the Aviation Maintenance Institute of Phoenix, and they volunteered their time. I think they got some extra credit with their instructor. And they came over and they swarmed all over this thing, and they pulled off a bunch of cowling pieces and stuff like that. You can see in the back they've started disassembling the tail. And so slowly but surely this airplane's coming apart. So we came down here today. Our buddy Wiley, Wiley made a bunch of trips down here with me for the Beach 18 project, came down here. We brought the big trailer that Barclay Moody of Woodside Builders graciously donated to the Museum of the Great Wars, and which is awesome because now we've got this 24-foot trailer. We can just jam it full of airplane parts, which we were just in a hangar, and later on I'll share some pictures on Facebook, but it's like, imagine eBay but for like cool World War II airplane stuff. You're like, oh my gosh, what's this over here? Oh, it's a extra Astrodome for your Harpoon, Tom. So it's all the cool stuff that you wish you could order online but can't because we're I'm not going to use that term because we're on live. But anyways, we'll just say because we're poor. Okay, anyways. And so this is awesome. So this airplane is going to be named the City of Kingman. And One of the big things is that during World War II, you could buy war bonds, and if a town raised enough money, they could name an airplane or a ship or whatever. Unions could do it. We've actually got a B-24 grouping that belonged to a B-24 that came out of Willow Run. It was paid for by the Union of Steamship and Railway Clerks. They brought the airplane down to Lockheed Field in Cincinnati. Everybody got to see it. So this is kind of not a new thing. So what we're hoping that happens is that all of this money that we need to move this airplane, and we're talking about $20,000, $25,000 to disassemble, transport, reassemble, and then paint this airplane and put it on display by the terminal at the airport. So we're going to sell war bonds. It's kind of a neat idea. So a $20 war bond, you're going to get a little certificate. It's going to be suitable for framing. If you buy a $50 war bond, we're going to go ahead and give you a nice lapel pin of a PV2 Harpoon, as well as that certificate. If you buy a $100 war bond, we're going to stencil your name somewhere on this big beast of an airplane once it gets painted up. And this thing is huge. 56 feet long, 75 foot wingtip to wingtip. Max gross takeoff weight, 32,000 pounds. Powered by two R2800 Pratt & Whitney, 2,000 horsepower, 18-cylinder Tim Tool Time Allen. More power, radial engines. Okay, phenomenal piece of equipment. R2800, hands down, undoubtedly the most reliable twin row radial engine ever produced anywhere on the planet. It powered the F4U Corsair, the F6, the P47, all the PV series, numerous other airplanes. After the war, they used them on a lot of your commercial airliners, DC-6s, Convair 240s, Martin 404s. No one's ever heard of a Martin 404, but I have because I'm a nerd. That's okay. And so anyways, phenomenal engine, phenomenal power plant. These engines were actually built by Ford at Dearborn, Michigan for Pratt & Whitney. So all you Ford guys out there, you're a Ford Motor Club. Maybe you want to sponsor one of the engines. All right, couple $1,000. We'll put your name on the cowling. Now, when we say this, guys, here's the deal. We're going to be approaching a lot of businesses. We're going to have a lot of literature out here. They want you to donate $500 or whatever to support the rodeo. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But after that weekend, it's gone. You donate $100 as an individual, $500 as a business. Your name is going to be permanently on this airplane, okay? So it'll be there for years for people to see it. And we're going to have spots on the nose, on the engines, on the fuselage, and all of that is in keeping with things that were done during World War II. So we're not being historically inaccurate at all. We're trying to tie things together to history. Now, fun fact, not only was the City of a whole program for B-29s, let's talk for just a brief moment about a B-29, the City of Phoenix. Now we're here in Mesa. The City of Phoenix was piloted by a gentleman named James Shoemate. James had moved to Phoenix. He worked for American Airlines before the war as a mechanic. He enlisted, he became a B-29 pilot. The City of Phoenix was the last B-29 shot down by Japanese ground defenses during the war. They were lost the afternoon of August the 8th, 1945. At roughly 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, let's put that in context. On August 6th, we actually bombed Hiroshima. The night of August 8th, the Soviet Union declares war. August 9th, we bombed Nagasaki. August 14th, the war ends. 6 days before the war ends, these guys get shot down. How does that tie to Kingman? James's wife, Fanny, spent the last 10 years of her life living in Kingman, Arizona.
Wow.
We have her locket that she used to wear of the man who she loved dearly, James Shoemate. So this is just another way that we can tell the story of the City of Phoenix through the City of Kingman, which will soon be on display at the airport. So the whole plan is to actually have this fuselage moved off of this airport, hopefully by early summer. That's what we're shooting on. Rob's got some people bringing in some super cool equipment. We've got folks like Wiley helping us with the small stuff. We got Bobby at Mojave Homes roped into trucking this thing up here. And he was looking at a picture of it and he's like, wow, it's a big airplane. Yeah, it's a big airplane, dude.
Prepare, Bobby.
It's
Prepare.
big. It's big. So anyways, and it's big. It's as big as my bald spot, okay? It's huge. So anyways, we love you guys. We love you guys checking in with us. We love the fact that we've got so much community effort for this, okay? And we know that Kingman, unlike other places that will not be named, Falcon Field, are going to rally and support this mission with this airplane. So thank you guys for tuning in with Mother Road Media. Lots more to come. Y'all have a great day.